Hey guys, welcome to a fresh video here on the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. In this video, this will be your ultimate guide to the contract status of everyone going into 2025. Now, what I'm going to do in this video is go through every single one of them, have a look at what next year could look like, give a bit of a status update as to where they're at right now, and maybe predict what a deal looks like, a 1 year deal, a 2 year deal, a 3+ year deal. So we'll see what happens. Now, don't forget, this video is sponsored by Big Betting Australia. That's bedding, not betting. So until the 2024 draft, you can get 15% off every single order you make when you use the code BLUEABROAD at the checkout. That also includes free shipping, and also you don't need to have a minimum spend. So get onto the website, link is in the description below, and make the most of the deal because it runs out in a few weeks. Newman, 24 games in 2024. Hard to fault him, really. Since coming to the club, he's just been super for us. He becomes a father going into 2025, which is great for him. He's born the 15th of January, 1993. That'll make him a 32-year-old going into the 2025 season. I think this is a 1 to 2 year deal prospect. I'll predict, I think this will be a 1 year extension. And then depending on how many games he plays in that year, I think maybe 2. But it could be 1, it could be 2. I'll predict 1. Nick Haynes, I think this will also be a 1 year extension. I think that's where he's at in his career. See what happens. It's hard to predict. It's hard to see what happens. I mean, he's at a new club, fresh environment. I think he'll be a valuable addition, not only to the team on the field, but I think the club as well, and the team off the field. So I think this is just a 1 year deal at a time prospect. Orazio Fantasia, I think this is the same. I think from here on in, it's a 1 year prospect, personally. So I'll predict 1 year at best. I also do think we will get to the end of 2025 and he will be one of a couple of names. Maybe Nick Haynes will be there as well, where they'll be out of contract going into that off season of 2025, and they may. That's more of a let's wait and see. But at best, I reckon it's a 1 year deal. Rob Monahan, I think, is the same. 1 year at best. Haven't seen him play. Don't know what he brings to the table. Not really sure what the situation is there, if he's going to even be playing in the ones next year. So I'm just going to say we'll get to the end of 2025 and he'll be in that pool of players that are out of contract and we've got to make decisions on. Sam Docherty's next, born on the 17th of October, 1993. That'll make him 31 years of age for the 2025 season. I mean, he's you can never doubt his ability to play. He's a guy that just continues to defy the odds. I mean, can we just take a moment to just remember that he actually played in the elimination final? That whether he should have or shouldn't have is one thing, but the fact that he actually did, quite remarkable, and got through unscathed, and that's a story in itself. I think he's a valuable member of the club, clearly, from a on-field, off-field perspective, culture perspective. Bit of a heart and soul type guy. I think this is a 1 to 2 year prospect at the end of 2025. I'd like to think, in a best case scenario, we get output from other players in the team that force him to not be in the team. And if that's the case, then we are getting a lot better. We're getting a lot better as a team, but I still think he's going to be able to play at a level that earns him a 1 to 2 year offer. I think this one will go late as well. With multiple ACL injuries, the more you do an ACL, the more chance you are of doing it again. So there's a reality of that. So it can be really tricky to offer more than 2 years at a time in this situation. So I'll say 1 to 2 years. And last but not least, I think no disrespect to the rest of the boys in this video, but the number one priority is Tom De Koning. 18 games in 2024, born on the 16th of July, 1999. It's a big contract. This, for me, as I said in the previous video about him, I think this is a 5+ year deal. Probably 5. Sign him to the end of 2030. That's the offer anyway. He will be a free agent at the end of 2025. Granted, he will be a restricted free agent at the end of 2025. So that means we have the opportunity to match any offers that come. It also means that should he leave, we would be compensated adequately for him. So there is that. There's a bit of security there for the club. I personally think he's that good and he's going to be that good. And I think it's a 5-year deal prospect or an offer. And so we'll see what happens. So there you go. There is every single player who is out of contract at the end of 2025. I believe that's right. I've got my information from FootyWire. I've cross-referenced it with Up the Baggers on Twitter. If you don't follow Up the Baggers, he does all the updates for this sort of stuff, news articles, contract status as well. So that's where I got my information from as to the status of these players. What do you think? Leave a comment below. Maybe go through every player and list the players and list your prediction as to what they are offered at the end of 2025 or prior to the end of 2025. Really interested to see where you value some of these players and how you value them. So we'll chat to you in the comments, go from there.